Going on, guys? Welcome back to the Leave It to the Judges MMA show. Today, guys, we're going to be bringing back our series. We're going to be covering two weight divisions in the UFC. We're going to talk about the landscape of it, who's the champion, upcoming fights, contenders, dark horses, all of the above. So far, guys, we've done welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight. The bantamweights fought over the weekend, and the flyweights are headlining the next pay-per-view. So we're going to go to the little guys now, 125, 135. Let's start with 35 because Jan and Figgy fought over the weekend. Very important fight for the division. Really quickly, what are you guys' thoughts on that fight? It seems to be like a title eliminator, maybe. Two fan
Uh,
favorites.
I fucked with it, man. I thought that both guys did well. I thought that the fight kind of played out how I expected it to, for the most part, I would say. Just in terms of, I kind of thought that Jan might be a bad matchup for Figgy. Great grappling defense. Um, a lot of output, 5 round cardio, and a bit of a size advantage. Jan's not the biggest 135er, but he's bigger than Figgy. And I think that that kind of showed in there. But I was impressed with both guys. Like we were talking about before the pod started, like I was saying that like that was probably as close of a 40-45 as you could get, really. Um, it's like he won every round, but like they were competitive. Like there was no particular round except maybe like the third, I believe, where Figgy got dominated. Um, so yeah, I was impressed. I thought that the takedown that Figgy got off in round one, I was hella surprised he was able to get Jan to the ground that easily. Um, maintained decent top control, which is impressive over like a grappler like Jan, but halfway through the round, like Jan reversed it and got on top and landed more ground and pound, and then that just kind of like snowballed into the rest of the fight. I thought that Figgy was doing good, landing good shots on the feet, good body work. He stung Jan a couple of times with some hard shots, but overall, the overall cardio and output difference is what really made the difference here. I thought that Figgy's cardio held up pretty well, all things considered, but he just isn't able to put out the amount of output that like a Jan is. And I feel like at 125, his punches did a lot more damage, and that helped him. But up here, where the guys can eat his shots a little better, it's like the output is gonna need some work, or he's gonna have to just be more grappling centric than he was at 125, which is I think what we're seeing more so.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice comeback win for Peter Yan. I really feel like he needed a performance like this going into some bigger fights because I was not sold by his last fight against Song Yadong. I think Song Yadong was, I mean, a stuffed takedown away from winning that fight.
Very close, yeah.
So I wasn't very. I still need to see more from Jan though. I was impressed. I liked the striking. He was very like overall creative going to like every area, especially on the legs. I liked that. Um, it was the best striking performance I've seen in a while from him. But I need to see a little more, just a little more pressuring, little more faster combo, like the old Jan. I don't know if this is the old Jan. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Like you said, he needed this win, bro. He's lost a bunch of his last couple fights. Now, granted, they were against like S tier competition. He's been fighting nothing but killers, but yeah, Jan looked really good. And we kind of alluded to this before the podcast. Man, just Marab and Umar just kind of seem above everybody. And yeah, Purian, I could see him beating pretty much anybody but them. And especially we saw what Marab did to him. I don't like his chances in a rematch. Nothing has really changed. But yeah. And Figgy will be fine. He's going to be in super entertaining fights the rest of his career. Or flyweight legend. Already has a bunch of nice wins at bantamweight. All right, guys, though, let's move on to the state of 135. About a year ago, it was regarded as honestly between this and lightweight the best division in the sport, just loaded with really dangerous contenders that throw on good fights. The division is still really good. Marab's our champion now. O'Malley's lurking. Umar's clearly next. I don't want to argue who's next. It's clearly going to be Umar. Yeah, we got guys like Sanhagen, Figgy, Jan still in there, Song Yadong. What are you guys' thoughts on the overall state and health of the bantamweight division going into 2025?
Let me just get on his ass real quick. Triple C needs to get the fuck out of there or fight, bro. Why is he holding up the number 7 spot? Him and Usman doing this shit, bro. Holding up rankings and podcasting. It's crazy. Like, leave the podcasting to us, bro. Get in the goddamn octagon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, outside of that, it's like I feel like it's one of the most stacked divisions, man. When like top to bottom, when you look at it, Marcus McGee at 14, like we just seen how he works. Like he goes hard in there. Jose Aldo still holding it down at the 11 spot. Like that's a deep division, man. I feel like Jose Aldo would be ranked to like 5 or 6 and a lot of these other divisions. Just like a legend that like kind of sticks around. Like I feel like Aldo is like equivalent to like Cannonier and at this stage, you know, where it's like he's not exactly what he once was, but he can still beat most guys. And he's way down at number 11 at this rate. So it's like I just think that the division's in a good place. I think it's one of the most stacked divisions right now for sure.
Yeah, it's a deep one for sure. I feel like top to bottom, really no weaknesses across. Everyone's a pretty good fighter overall. Even the contenders, Montel Jackson at 15. My Lord, this man is something. I'm telling he's one to watch out for future champ. I can see it.
You,
Montel,
you see Montel making the climb part?
yeah, I see him. He's a dangerous one for sure. And then like even Amin Zahabi, Canadian, I've been impressed by him. He's been beating some good comp to find his way in the rankings. So a lot of good guys coming up in the rankings, and then the top, O'Malley, Umar, Peter Yan, Sanhagen, Figgy. I mean, it's just completely stacked. And then Murad is the champion. So not much else to say.
Yes, like I said, last video we did the heavyweight divisions. We did the heavyweight division. We were looking through the rankings, just like shitting on it, like, oh my God. But like looking at bantamweight 1 to 15, it's absolutely stacked.
Comp.
Now, Umar and Marab are next for sure. But besides that, what are some fights you guys want to see at 135 to like see who's in the title picture?
Quite frankly, I think that I'm not gonna lie, like Murad might be ducking Umar, man, to be honest. I think that I've heard rumblings, like I don't know, you never know until like, Dana announces shit, but I've heard rumblings that like the UFC is looking at a potential O'Malley rematch. And I think that Murad's kind of being pussy with that, to be honest. I think we all know that Umar is his biggest threat. And I think that O'Malley is probably a bigger money fight for a lot less risk. So it seems like he might be trying to just double tap in on that cash machine.
Smart move.
I mean, smart move, right? You never know, especially with Umar coming up. Like, you never know how long his reign's going to be at this point, and like, why not squeeze a little bit more cash out of your champion position? But I would say it's a bit shameful. I'm not gonna lie. That would be a bit shameful. And I fuck with Morab. I don't think he needs to duck. I understand it as well, but we all know, like, especially considering like how lopsided the O'Malley win was. Like, yeah, there's like it would just be shameful, man. Give Umar his he's the rightful number 1 contender. Give him his title shot, bro. Give him his title shot.
Yeah, definitely.
I would love to see O'Malley fight Sandhagen instead, because styles make fights, and I think that would be a pretty exciting fight.
I
I mean, Sandhagen might make it boring. He might go for the wrestling if he's smart, which I think he will. But I think that's a fun fight on the feet. I don't know who wins that. I'd probably lean O'Malley just because of Sanhagen's age, but I think that's a good fight.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I don't think that Sanhagen has the wrestling chops to just 5 round grapple fuck O'Malley. I think that he can probably get some top control, probably land takedowns in maybe 2 out of the 5 rounds, I would say. But I don't see him just like over controlling O'Malley high key. Um, I think O'Malley should be able to like scramble up to his feet, and I think that honestly, Sanhagen might just oblige that to a certain extent. I don't think he's gonna like waste most of his energy like trying to hold O'Malley down as if he can't strike with him. I think that Sanhagen has a good chin. He has good striking as well, and like I feel like I see that fight mostly playing out on the feet.
Yeah, that'd be a really fun one. Let's see what is next. I would love to see Cejudo versus Jose Aldo. I feel like that'd be a super fun one. Um, yeah, I want to see Peter Yan for O'Malley. I either want to see Yan or Sanhagen in the rematch. But to conclude, guys, at 135, how much longer does Marab hold on to the belt?
It depends on how long he avoids Umar. If Umar's next, I think he's done. I'm not gonna lie. I just think he's done. I just think that we've all seen that Marab has bare little to nothing on the feet. And he's very susceptible to getting clipped. He's kind of chinny. If you can keep it there, and if anyone can keep it there with him long enough to land like some devastating strikes on him, it would be Umar. Umar is the perfect blend of kickboxing skills with like daggy wrestling, you know? And I wouldn't say that like we've had to see him. He doesn't have to like resort to his wrestling a lot. So it's not like we've seen him like it's an interesting stylistic clash, right? Like I don't know how he would do in a matchup where he's mostly having to just rely on that defensive wrestling at least, you know? But I just kind of have an inkling that he should be able to defend takedowns enough to kind of make Marab kind of helpless on the feet for at least enough to win the fight, if not finish him. I kind of imagine he finishes him, but I could also just see him just outpointing him, yeah, in a close fight. But I don't see Marab winning that fight. So I feel like it basically just depending on like how long it takes for him to fight Umar.
Yeah, it kind of see. It's like if he beats Umar, then it's like my answer is 3 years.
Yeah, I think he has a lengthy reign if he can get past Umar.
Okay.
Like, and that's the only yeah. Like that fight's so big, so big.
Nice.
Quite frankly, I don't see who would beat him because it's not going to be Cheeto. It's not going to be. I mean, I guess high key we can run back the Yan fight with how he just looked. I think Yan probably of the available options has the best chance to beat him outside of Umar, just because like he kind of has good defensive wrestling, and even in that fight, we saw that Murad wasn't able to control Yan. Yan has above average takedown defense and good striking and good cardio at least, so I feel like he has the second best chance, but I mean, I would still favor Murad in that rematch just based on how the first fight went. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of like he has a good runway if he can just get past the next guy, which, you can kind of say that about a lot of divisions. Very, very heavyweight reminiscent, right? Like in my mind. Like I think John Jones would kill everyone else besides Aspinall. If he can get past Aspinall somehow, he might just decide, fuck it, like I'm gonna have another 3 years of this career, you know?
Yeah.
Like you never know. Like who at heavyweight is gonna beat John Jones outside of Aspinall? Like no one. Who at bantamweight is gonna beat Marab outside of Umar? Really, no one. So I feel like they're kind of in similar positions.
Yeah, definitely.
Give Montel Jackson a shot.
I feel like he's a ways away though, you know? And I feel like even if he's not
Once he gets there.
right away, I'm saying yeah, but that he's at least like a year or two, like 2 years away. Unless they just jump him quick and like, but I don't see them doing that. I think he's gonna have to fight at least 3 fights before a title shot, and that would take a couple years.
Yeah, because he's 6 feet, right? Like he's tall as hell.
He's a big boy for that division for
He's
sure.
big as fuck. All right, so let's move down 10 pounds. Then let's move on to 125 flyweight, one of the most infamous divisions in UFC history. Dana White used to absolutely hate it. People hate this division sometimes. Just, a bunch of tiny dudes fighting, but they put on sick fights. Their champion is Alexander Pantoja, taking on Kai Sakura in the main event of UFC 310. First of all, I think Pantoja is one of the most underrated champions in the sport. I understand his fights aren't super exciting, but like if you look at like the flyweight division, he's beaten a lot of those guys, and he's beaten a couple of them multiple times. And he's never really in trouble. I guess he has cardio issues, but he's winning fights very convincingly. He's taking on Kai Sakura, who in his UFC debut is headlining a pay-per-view at flyweight. I think that's pretty crazy. A lot of pressure on him. A lot of pressure on him to win also. They want to break into that Japanese market. But what are you guys' thoughts on this upcoming title fight and Pantoja as a champion and Asakura as a challenger?
I'm not gonna lie, like I've seen some highlights, but I'm not overly familiar with like Asakura's resume. And like when I'm watching the highlights, even he looks impressive, especially in the striking. But like, I also just don't know like what the level of competition that he's been facing is. And so like that's why I have a lot more question marks rather than if I had seen him come in and like maybe face a couple of ranked contenders first, maybe one or two even. Like even it could have just been one if they wanted to rush him. To be honest, like let's say you bring him in, you give him like a Kai Kara France, like boom. I would know like I kind of know where Kai Kara France is on the flyweight hierarchy. You know what I mean? So it's like I just think that like maybe he should have been given a litmus test, but I guess like he might have got fraud checked, and then that might have just ruined a big Japanese payday. So I understand it both ways, but yeah, I have a lot of unknowns here. Like primarily with his grappling, just how is he gonna deal with Pantoja's grappling really? Because I think that he hasn't beat probably on the feet at this stage.
Yeah. I think Pantoja skill wise can go with Moreno, can go with Figueiredo if he was still down there. Skill wise, I think the thing that'll will always hold them back will be his gas tank. So I think some people aren't as afraid to fight him. I think knowing that info. Uh, I don't know much about Asakura's gas tank. Let me tell you, I have no
I
idea.
have no idea.
Yeah.
Uh, I've watched the highlights. Looks pretty impressive, like an explosive kickboxer, pretty fast. But I don't see anything in the area, which is very concerning, especially going up against a guy like Pantoja, who is very elite down there, who can get submissions down there. It just feels like he should win the fight. Now, if it stays on the feet longer than it should, Asakura can maybe find a fourth or fifth round TKO if it gets that far down and he has the better cardio somehow. That's very possible, but I just feel like if Pantoja gets him down early, it could be over early, honestly. Like
I
that's my
I could
mindset.
see that. Yeah.
I think one of the biggest underrated facets of Pantoja's game is his IQ. The man just kind of finds ways to win fights, and it's not always the same way. Like sometimes it will be like, damn, like the one trend that typically we see in a Pantoja fight that is like around round three, he will look absolutely gassed to fuck, you know? And then, but he has like that kind of comeback cardio where it's like he doesn't his gas tank doesn't deplete in like a slope. It kind of like it has ebbs and flows to it. And he'll have like spurts of like 2 minutes where he can like throw again, or 2 minutes of cardio randomly where he can just like get a takedown and secure a dominant position right out the round. So it's like he's a grit man, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
And
he's a great man.
we don't know what's to other buddies' grit. What's in the grit here? It will be tested. I feel if he can't get him out of there quickly on the feet, which I don't anticipate, because Pantoja has solid striking, especially early when he's like fresh, and he has a lot of power, especially for the weight class. So it's like, even though these guys are like nets fighting each other, like you rarely see knockout finishes. But I think Pantoja is one of the guys that actually has that finishing power at that in that division, and yeah. So it's like I think that stylistically, depending on how the fight plays out, like largely dictates like how this is gonna go. I feel like Pantoja has more ways to win, especially from what I've seen. And I hope my guy is training his takedown defense because it might save his ass. Because if you extend Pantoja to like round three, and he can't get those like catch his breath takedowns, it could get real dicey for him on the feet.
Yeah, definitely.
So I
And,
feel like um his ability to stuff a takedown is gonna really determine like whether we have a new champ or not.
yeah, and also this is important to note. Asakura is moving down from 35 to 25. He used to fight at 25s, but at bantamweight for a bit, so he is cutting down. I don't know if that'll play a factor, but yeah.
It
I
might
didn't.
help him in the size on a size tip, but it might be worse on his gas tank a
Yeah.
little bit. Typically, when fighters cut more weight, especially when they're not used to it, their gas tank kind of weans a little bit. They leave a little bit more of themselves on the scale sometimes. But I mean, for an immediate title shot, like how could you not? How could you
Oh
not?
yeah.
Tough, right? Fuck
Yeah.
it. You debut title shot.
And he's a former champ, so yeah, it would just be huge for like Japan, like the Japanese market if they won that.
Have an ability to bust that Japanese market wide open like
Oh
the
yeah,
old
with the champ.
Fridays. So fuck, man.
That'd be sick.
I think
I,
he's all shot because Tetsutura lost. It's
That
already
was
well.
tough.
It's already well. So
I swear that was piss poor. Like, I mean, and that fight was so close too. Like, I saw grit off both people, and like, I do kind of, I can still see a world where Tyra might have still beat Pantoja
All
on.
right, guys, let's move on to the rest of the flyweight division. The title picture is pretty clear. I think Moreno's gonna get the next shot, or maybe Roy Val will. They're both coming off dubs, but it's kind of the same faces at the top. Is there anyone you got any dark horses you guys see contending for a title soon that hasn't already?
I mean, that hasn't is kind of like
Or you could do that has, but like someone besides Moreno or Roy Val. Give me something fresh.
I will say if Roy, I mean if Pantoja loses the title, then the whole division kind of opens up, to be honest. I think that after turning away Tyra, I think Roy Val has like as good a claim as any because I think that like everyone kind of looked at Tyra like that next guy, us included. Um, you know, and Roy Val kind of just gate kept him. So, I mean, if anyone deserves the title shot again, the next one, I would say maybe it's him. Even though I don't really want to see Roy Val get another title shot, or not right now, to be honest with you, like or ever, but right now especially. I think I need to see more of him, especially in way of like exciting fights. Um, Maybe like one or two more wins, and I'll be really more ready to concede that to him because I don't even know. Like I don't hold the Moreno win in that much esteem just because Moreno just looked like shit in that fight. I mean, it's kind of like how Leon looked in the fight against fucking Bilal. Like it's like, yeah, you beat him, but like we know that like the fighter wasn't right in there, you know? They didn't look like themselves. And I felt like that's like I feel like the Moreno from his last fight against Albazi probably beats Roy Val. Like I don't understand how like where that guy was against Roy Val, but because of that, I think Roy Val might need another win. Uh, I think Moreno needs another win just because like again, all these guys are coming off like basically one win, 1 or 2 wins. Like I would say maybe Ursig if he hadn't lost to fucking Kai Kara France. Like it's just kind of like everyone needs to get their shit together in this division. To be honest, I'm like reading through it. I'm going through everybody, and I'm like kind of like everyone's got to get their shit together, bro. Maybe Cape, maybe Cape, bro. I mean,
Yeah,
because the Makayev shit was kind of fluky, and like because he's gone, it's kind of like the UFC's gonna ignore that, right? And I
yeah,
think,
that didn't happen.
and if like Ursay got a title shot from like number 8, then like I feel like Cape has done more in the UFC to earn his title shot, I would say. So I would say Cape could be like one fight away, just a one rebound fight away from rejoining that picture. And I think that he probably would have beat my boy Makayev had he not broken his toe. So based on how that fight was looking, even with the broken toe. So I would say let's fast track Cape in there, honestly. That would be the most intriguing to me.
Before that, he's a fun fighter.
Yeah, looking down the list here. I mean, the one name that jumps out to me is Asu Alambayev. Now, I do not know how he got to the number 7 position. I've seen him. I know he's good. I don't remember who he fought to get that high in the rankings. Let me look.
It's 21-2. Yeah,
Mateus
shit.
Nicolau?
Nicolau,
Yeah,
okay.
Nicolau.
Nicolau, who was probably like around there.
He's
I would,
solid.
yeah.
Where is Nicolau now?
I think he's 8, 9. No, wait.
He's not even ranked.
Damn, they've kicked his ass out of the fuck.
He's gone, bro. So at that point, it's like, damn, now it's hard to justify it. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, I don't know why they.
is it an inactivity thing? Because I mean, one fight usually doesn't like knock you all the way out the rankings
Now
like
he's
that.
been pretty active. I'm looking at his thing. I don't know.
Ooh, maybe it's a contract dispute
Uh-oh.
out of the UFC.
I like that. I like that choice though.
I mean, he is on a 3 fight losing skid though. He is.
Oh, I'm looking at. Never mind. I'm looking at something different. That might make sense then.
Yeah, 3 fight losing skid is enough. I mean, he lost to Royval, Perez, and Amabayev. Like, yeah, he's up out of there now.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
all of my have talented. So if they want to give one of these top guys him, like I could see him getting the title shot real quick. I don't know if he's ready for it really, but I mean he's looked good in all 3 of his UFC fights so far. So I mean, I say give him a shot. I mean he's number 7 now, so you kind of just have to give him someone pretty decent.
I mean, first that got a title shot from like relatively 7 or 8, so it's like fuck it, right?
Yeah, fuck it, dude.
The
I mean,
rank
it's
clearly
wrong.
don't matter.
In a division like this, yeah, it won't matter as much.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna. I feel like they should run back Roybal and Moreno for the 3rd time. Kind of just makes sense to do.
You're
Both
so
coming
sick of
off wins
trilogies, bro.
now. Yeah, but like, what else are we gonna do in this division? And like, look at everyone else. Poor Amir Albazi looked like shit.
I
He's
would like. Oh, sorry. No, yeah, I was about to mention Albazi. He looked fucking abysmal in there. I would like to see. Man, Kaikara Francis' knockout over Ursula was very impressive. I know he's lost to Moreno. I think he lost to Pantoja, but I think Kaikara Francis has a chance to get that belt with that knockout power, and I think he's improved a lot over the years. I know he's kind of a meme sometimes, but I think Kaikara France could actually win that belt.
I mean, I would love to see him versus Cape. Like they had this
Oh,
beef.
that's a fire fight.
That would be an exciting fight,
I
and that
remember
could
that.
actually be a title eliminator. That would make sense.
That's the next fight.
I mean, I don't know about putting Cape against fucking fighters he has beef with after that last fight because they acted like they were rabid dogs about to kill each other just to get in there and stare at each other for three
Yeah, then the
rounds.
fight was shit. Yeah.
Like,
God.
hey, man,
That's
I think
true.
respectful. We need respectful matchups for Cape the rest of the way because
But Car France isn't gonna go for a takedown, so I
Yes.
think we'll be a little more aggressive in
Yeah, it'd
that.
be a very fast-paced fight. Yeah, so I think the division has gotten a lot more talented over the years. Looking at Demetrius Johnson's run, the division was pretty terrible. I'm not gonna lie. Like the challengers weren't very inspiring. Cejudo, he won the bell and then moved up. So I think the division is in a really good state right now.
He
Okay, guys.
won the
Quick question. Do you guys think that like DJ could return right now and win the title and beat out?
Okay, obviously Prime DJ absolutely would run this division. Now,
he's retired.
current,
He's
yeah, I'm
retired,
gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. Yeah, no.
Who beats him?
but
I
he's
think,
retired, right?
yeah, he retired.
How old is he?
Like 37 or some shit?
See, like if you just plopped him, like, are you saying he just gets a title shot right away, or he has to climb his way up?
I mean, let's just say
You just say win it.
who singularly would you favor to beat him?
I could see Moreno beating him right now, for
Yeah.
sure. I think it's a good matchup for Moreno. I could see
He'd be one of the few. Just stylistically, like Moreno's not, is he 30 yet?
something like that.
Or like about 30? I
I
mean,
could see Royval beating DJ in like a decision.
ugh, no.
No.
I mean, you guys are tweaking on Royval, bro. It's been
No. You're
dude.
tweaking on
DJ's
DJ.
just out the door, bro. He's not.
If Royval, I'd be so sad if Royval just beats DJ
He
out
just
there.
splits decisions his ass.
That would be disgusting as fuck.
I would tell the UFC to release Royval just for doing that.
Now,
I
the only
think
person
that, I think that he beats Pantoja. Do you not think he beats Pantoja?
I don't know right now. I just
On
don't know what DJ looks
cardio?
like right now.
On
That's
cardio and shit? I don't know, man. This man he's like 1 year away from like winning shit in one championship, you know?
Yeah, it'd be close.
I agree.
DJ would go, but it's tough.
I just think DJ has too much for these guys, man. I think the Moreno one is the one I can most kind of visualize just on like volume and just kind of like on his best day, Moreno really be flowing in there. But like after seeing what I saw against Royval, I just don't think DJ even has a performance that bad in him. Like, so it's like that kind of like dimmed the stock of Moreno a little bit to me, to be
Okay.
honest.
Yeah, I feel you. My thing is like specifically like everyone else I could see DJ beating. But specifically Pantoja Moreno, I would consider them top five flyweights ever. Both of them.
Yeah.
And as good as Demetrius Johnson was, he never fought this level of comp, even though it's like still kind of iffy. Like this flyweight division is so much more deep than it used to be in the past.
That is
Um, so I think they would have like, and just the fact DJ is like in DJ's prime, he beats everyone for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Like as of right now, I think Moreno beats him for sure. And
sure
Tojo,
is wild. For sure is wild. He can't even beat Royval, damn near. What do you say? What do you say?
get him the third fight back, and it'll look like the first fight. That's all I'm saying. Get him the fight back. That's all
I mean,
I'm
I would
saying.
hope.
Oh,
I'm not trying to turn this into a shit on fucking Moreno party
Yeah.
here. I mean, but I don't know, man. And I want to give Royval his fucking credit, man. Raw Dog gets in there, he scraps every time. Even though he sometimes comes out on the losing end. One thing I can say about Royval is he always comes to fight. He's always game. He's always gonna try shit. He's always not giving up on himself. Sometimes he's just a little outmatched that night, but like I do respect him. Like he did climb his way to the number one contender spot, like against the odds sometimes, bro, to be honest. But so I'm not trying to like diminish Royval too much or like diminish Moreno. I just think that like for one, if DJ's like 38, I think Pantoja's got to be like 36, 37, right? So I don't think that he has the age gap there. And then I have to think about it like in the pure striking department, I think that DJ's better. I think that he has the grappling chops to at least even if Pantoja gets a takedown, I don't think that he's just gonna blanket DJ down there. I think DJ's kind of like little and like squirmy. And I think that he definitely DJ has the cardio advantage. And I think that like DJ would know when to like press the issue on Pantoja's cardio, and like I can just kind of see him like outworking him late, even if he had to struggle a little bit early. But I don't know, man. I don't see DJ losing to any of these guys unless it's like more of a he gets clipped kind of way. I can see a couple guys clipping him potentially on some of his old shit, but I don't see anyone just like outworking him, out dogging him in there, you know?
How
Yeah, I
long
mean,
has he been retired so far? How
he's been
long?
he's been out for a couple months. I don't know when his last fight was, but it's just hard for me to pick a retired guy to beat like a champion in the UFC. But I get where you're coming from. DJ's a goat. I think this division is just missing like their Umar, like a guy who's bona fide the next guy up, the boogeyman. This division just doesn't have that. It's kind of spread out. But anything else you guys want to touch on in the divisions before we wrap it up?
Bring back Makayev, bro. I know he fucked up, y'all.
He's never coming back.
I know, but like Dana said that like he doesn't even have a problem with him. It's the matchmaker. So like Dana has like had problems with people and then like
That's true,
for
actually.
the right bag and under the right circumstances brought them back. So if Dana and we know Dana likes to be petty, like if he can put his shit aside, I think Dana could really go and chop it up with the matchmakers and go like damn, like I mean maybe if Makayev like because, like, let's be honest, like, even though Makayev was winning fights, like, he was not dominating in the way that, like, granted, he's only 23, but, like, I think, like, a 27-year-old Makayev, he rounds some shit out, starts getting starts getting finishes more often than just, like, grinding out decisions and shit. I could see if he, like, makes some waves on the independent MMA scene, not even independent scene, but like, even like some of these lesser, like, a Bellator or PFL type situation. Like, I could see if he just builds his name up a little bit, gets a little more oomph to him, it's a little bit more finishing power. I could see the UFC in a couple years coming around on that, but uh, I'm looking at the division, man. Like, I feel like it's just this is a rock paper scissors ass division, you know? It's like
Yeah.
the styles make the fights in this division, and like because of that, like outside of Pantoja, that's why I think honestly that's what makes Pantoja's reign a little bit more impressive because he just finds a way, even though he faces like adversity in damn near every title fight he has, he just finds a way to get grit through it, man. And like if he has to land some heavy shots on the feet, he does. If he has to summon some cardio and, get a takedown and blanket a guy for like half a round, he will. Like, and that's just like, I don't think that like we're appreciating Pantoja as much as like when he loses the title, I think we're gonna be like, damn, like we really had a good champ there, honestly. Like, even though it's a lot of like grappling in his fights, like I would say like they're always scraps, especially just because like he is always gassing out, so that always adds like intriguing dynamic to the fight. So I mean, I don't know. Long live the Pantoja reign, man. Even though it might come to an end sooner rather than later.
Yeah, give Bruno Silva bigger fights. That man can smack. Let me tell you, that man can smack.
Who would you match him up with if you were the matchmaker? Ladies and gentlemen.
Fun fight like Urseg. Oof.
I mean, he might boom Urseg's chin, bro. After what I just saw, like I
There's
don't
like
know.
a fraud, bro. I'm sorry. I hate
Or
to say
maybe
it.
like
A
I'm just thinking
fraud,
like
man?
Not a fraud,
not
but
a
oh,
fraud.
sorry. Go ahead, Nick.
I'm just thinking strikers why. I don't know who I'd like him and Cave would be interesting for sure.
Him and Cape would be interesting. I think Silva would bring the fight to Cape. I just don't know what Silva's output would be like in that fight, but
Gross.
you know,
That's a good one.
for sure.
Uh-huh. All right, but anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video and the support on the last video. Please check out our TikTok and the YouTube Shorts. Leave a comment, a hate comment, banter with us in the comments. We absolutely love it. Thank you for giving us your time of the day. We'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.